Alright, time now is 11:56 a.m. on November 12th. Yeah, 1 month and 1 week left. I slept from 5:30 to 11. And I know 5.5 hours is not a lot, but goddamn, I felt like shit when I woke up today. Felt like shit. So tired. So deprived of sleep. I had to go back to sleep for 15 more minutes. I brushed my teeth and then went back to sleep. Because if I immediately go back to sleep, I would just probably actually fall asleep and wake up 2 hours later. So yeah, 15 minutes of laying on my bed. And I almost forgot to film one of these because my life has been so simple. But yeah, today's gonna be rather interesting because I'm going back to the school for the first time in nearly 2 years. I'm going with Nick. And yeah, again, whatever happens, happens. That's sort of my attitude at this point. If I don't run into anyone, whatever. If I do run into anyone, cool. But I'm just going back to the school and just to chill, just to look at people and just, you know, exist. And that's pretty much the whole point. It would be cool if I could run into some familiar faces and have a chat with them or anything like that. I think that would be really cool and maybe a little helpful. Psychologically helpful, not very helpful in the literal sense. Yeah, aside from that, last night I finished version 2 of the script, which I think is pretty much final. It's still very long though, but I think it may work out. I'm gonna send it to a bunch of people. Ariel finally responded saying that I just told her. So Ariel last night was like, "Oh yes, please send me the version 2." And I'm like, "Oh, actually, I already asked Benny to produce in case you're too busy." And she's like, "Okay, yeah, but I can still AD. I'm still down to AD." And I'm like, "Sure." The thing is, I don't even need an AD. I feel like, given that this is such a small crew. But you know what? Sure. As long as the crew's not oversized or anything. But yeah, again, like I said, if this journey in Hong Kong, if this stay in Hong Kong doesn't bring about any fruition, then so be it. There's nothing I can do anymore. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that. I'm excited for today again, but won't be seeing Natalie. I won't be seeing much, I guess. But yeah, Natalie. I feel like Natalie. One of the reasons why Natalie's so not excited to speak to me is because I looked like a homeless person last time I saw her. But the thing is, my personality and my face has to keep changing, so I don't know. But regardless, I hope the people of Santa Monica would be shocked at my new face. I am for real planning to get an ear piercing when I get to the US. When I get to USC. I think an ear piercing would do me good. How much else? Last night was still very productive, I think, even though I only watched 15 minutes of Attack on Titan. I also watched 3 episodes of anime. I also edited my Japan vlog a little bit. I also filmed 2 reviews. I edited college update video. I didn't export it because it takes too much time, but I did a bunch of shit last night, so that's pretty cool.
星期。
我想邊度都睇，我想觀光一下。
Because in Microsoft used to do like dictation, other quizzes.
鋪開燈壞，
哇！Alright, time now is 10:22 p.m. Yeah, so today was pretty interesting. I reckon pretty interesting. So I returned to the school. I arrived. I thought I was gonna be late, but honestly, I had to wait for Nick for like 10 more minutes outside of the school. So I wasn't really late, but I don't know, just it's been a while since I've taken a bus, and it's really making me feel things. There's something about it that just feels so heavy. It just feels so it's so heavy. I don't know why. Like, I was listening to music. Like, before I got onto the bus, I already started feeling sad and heavy, I guess is the right word. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I don't know why, but before I even got onto the bus, I already felt moody. I don't know. I guess I'm still emotionally affected by it. And I feel like I'm like the only person who is emotionally affected by this. I feel like no one else really cares. But I do care a lot for some reason. It's like a very important part of my identity is based around this. I don't know. So I arrived, and a lot has changed. A lot of new construction sites, a lot of restaurants are gone. And then I see people in the school uniform that I know, that I've worn for 6 years, but I don't recognize them anymore. It's kind of strange. And then I was outside the school, and I look inside, and it's so alive, it's so fancy. And for some reason, I'm beginning to look at my own school life from an outsider's standpoint instead of being in it. And I just thought to myself, and maybe it's because of anime influence, but how much would I have experienced in life if I had done more? If I hadn't missed out on all these opportunities, like if I made more friends, had I talked to people more, had I joined more clubs, like I feel like I would have actually made something. I would have actually done something that I'm proud of. But now that I'm seeing kids, teenagers, I'm not a teenager anymore. It's crazy. I see teenagers and they're doing their own thing, prefects standing guard, people playing around with drones, the tech people, the robotics people, dance society and dance costumes, house representatives setting up booths. It's crazy. So I and Nick went in, and because Nick was there, it feels a lot more lighthearted. Thank God I went with Nick. But also not really. I wish I'd gone yesterday as well. But anyways, we went in, and we didn't really get to see a lot of people today. Half the teachers we know are all gone, basically. But there's still a bunch of people who we used to know, and all of them pretty much recognized me, but they all had to like stand still for a couple seconds to realize, oh my god, Enoch. First off is this math teacher who had never taught me, but had taught Nick for M2, and they talked for a couple moments, and then I tried to approach my Form 1 math teacher, which, again, Form 1 was 2014 to 15, so it's kind of like 8 years ago, more like 9 years ago, but because 2 years ago I still saw the teacher and spoke to him, so he recognized me, but the first time I approached him, like I went near him, he didn't even bat an eye. So we later went up, we went floor by floor, and we're just gonna just go and walk around. And it's uncanny. It's a very surreal feeling to be back. Maybe it's because I'm with Nick, but it didn't feel sad or anything. It's very much like a very alive. But there's a tinge of sadness to everything nowadays. But more importantly, I rebuilt the entire school in Minecraft. So when I went in, it's like I'm in that Minecraft world. And that Minecraft world is recreated from my own memories. And it's like, it's real. And also, because I think about my stories so much, my stories about the school, it's like I'm living in them. Instead of being in this weird, wow, the nostalgia. I mean, there are a lot of nostalgic moments. It's more like, oh yeah, I know this place. Oh yeah, I know that place. Oh yes, art room, I remember it. It doesn't feel like something from the long past for me, from the far away past. Doesn't feel that far away because I keep seeing them in my daydreams. I keep daydreaming about going to the school. I keep dreaming at night about going to the school, not just daydream, night dreams, actual dreams. I keep thinking that I'm going back to the school. And when it happens, it just happens. So we met another teacher. Pretty much every teacher we met is by chance, almost. So we met one of our class teachers, aka homeroom if you're American. So one of the two, and she is also the head of the English department. And we met her and we talked a lot. And we're in this classroom, and they had this English games, like English related games. So a couple of her students, a guy who looks like he's about the same age as me, but he's a teacher. He's got a name tag, which is hilarious. And he's like, oh, you want to help out? Let's help out. We're short-staffed. So we helped out, but we didn't help out much. It was really awkward for the most part. Nick was really awkward. Throughout the whole day, it was like Nick just didn't know what to do. He's just like laughing and being sweaty, and he just didn't know what to say. He makes a joke, and then it's like no one's gonna get the joke, and he just laughs at himself, and then he realizes that maybe he shouldn't have said the joke, and he just couldn't really read the room. Like, that just happens all the time, but it's cool. So yeah. So we stayed in that room for a little bit, and I was really friendly with people. I guess I'm just like at a point in life where I can just be friendly with everyone, or I'm just trained to do that, you know. So we stayed in that room for a little bit, spoke with the teacher a little bit, and then we left because we have to keep going. So we kept going. That was third floor. That was a classroom 3E. So we kept going. We kept going and going and going. 4th floor, 5th floor, 6th floor, 7th floor, main roof. Couldn't find anyone. And so it's like, oh, you know, because we still want to find a couple more teachers. 3 more teachers. 1 is our biology teacher, now the principal. 2 is our other class teacher who teaches chemistry, who I think is also the department head of chemistry. 3 is our beloved physics teacher. Yeah, we went to the 7th floor, and there's this hall, this secondary hall, where it's all gray and everything. We went in, and boom, we found the most important person, the principal, who is energetic, alive, and he's doing really well as principal, I think. He's got that very alive, encouraging, kind energy going on for him, which is great, you know. And so we saw him, and he immediately recognizes the both of us. And he's like, "Oh, how are you doing?" And he talked to me the most. He's like, "Oh, you're studying in LA? Like, how is it going? What are you doing here?" Every teacher I meet, I have to explain my predicament of like transferring from college to university, but then the university accepted me in January, so I'm coming back for Hong Kong for a little bit, and then it's like, I have to explain that predicament. Um, and then but yeah, it went on and on and on, and he asked me, "Oh, so you're doing film?" And I told him, "Oh yeah, I met Mr. P, our Chinese teacher, a couple years ago, and he said he wanted to start a film club." And then he's like, he at first he thought I met him in the UK or something, but I'm like, no, no, that's like 2 years ago. And he's like, oh, and then he talked about how half the Chinese department is gone, and like it's a lot of people are gone. And then given the opportunity, I went and I reminded him that, hey, like a few years ago I emailed you about possibly making a short film here, and right now I still can't because I don't have that ability, but maybe sometime in the future, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years from now, maybe I'll come back here to make a short film. And he's like, sure. I mean, a lot of other people, he told me that a lot of other people, a lot of film people come to this school to make final year projects. So I'm like, okay, that's good. Also, apparently, he has an alumni from his own secondary school who's also become a semi-successful filmmaker, and he said the name, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know who she is. So there's that. And then we left. Before we left though, Betsy showed up. Oh my god. So Betsy is the only person in our class of 6A who showed up. Aside from Betsy, there are a couple of other people. There's Iris, who, if you don't know, Iris and Ronald dated for a little bit, and Tom had a huge crush on her for quite some time. She is a very athletic, very cheerful, joyful girl from Class C. I also ran into the girl who was a prefect, and I told Zara jokingly that, and she isn't from our form, she's one form lower, but I told Zara jokingly that she looks like another teacher. I almost said professor. She looks like another teacher, an LS teacher, and she came back with her boyfriend. I briefly know her, but she definitely forgot about me. And I think I also saw yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So it's really like empty. Like we really didn't run into anyone. But yeah, I talked to Betsy, and it's been like years since I've seen Betsy. I think it's been years. By years I mean 2 years, honestly, because last I saw her was 2021 December for the graduation ceremony. But I could immediately tell it's her. She could immediately tell it's me and Nick. And apparently Betsy was also at the school yesterday. Here's the interesting stuff. Yesterday is when all the big people showed up. Kingsley, Olivia, Natalie, Andy, Hector, Leia, and shit, that's it. What name did I give him? Hans. I remember. His real name starts with the letter A, but I ran out of letter A starting names without clashing with other already existing letter A names. I call him Hans. And it would have been cool because most of those people I haven't seen in years. I haven't seen Hans or Hector or Andy in years. So I felt a little bad. I said, man, I wish I could have come yesterday. And the thing is, sure, Hans, Hector, Andy, Kingsley, Natalie are the exact reason why I feel bad about my school life. They're exactly the problem because they are the most happy, successful. Even if they're not happy in the inside, they come off happy, and it made me really jealous. And I really beat myself up, and I really develop self-hatred because of those people. Exactly those people. Tom is cool, Even AJ is cool. Marty is cool, but Hans is he looks down on me, he makes fun of me. Andy, I'm not a big fan either. Hector is one of the people who I really get awkward around because it's like he truly doesn't care about me. Kingsley, I can talk with him, but Kingsley is like the big ultimate Chad who gets all the girls. He's stuck his fingers in the girl's pussy before. I'm not going to say who. He's probably had sex already. I don't know. He doesn't have a lot of sex life with Olivia, but God knows. Olivia's an anime character. But they are the reason why I hated myself so much, and the reason why life was so depressing for me back then. But Nausea randomly DM'd me. But though I gave it some more thought and I realized maybe I should have gone yesterday just because that it would be such a huge redemption. Even though I'm not, in my best shape right now, I still haven't had a girlfriend. I'm still not muscular in a normal way, I'm still not super duper handsome. My hair isn't still at its best looking stage. But still, I've changed, and I wanted to show off. I wanted to let them know that I've changed. I talk more now. I look better now. I socialize better now. I'm more confident now. I do shit now. And I want them to know that, and I want them to care. But I missed the chance. Instead, I saw Betsy, so that's better than nothing. So for the next couple of hours or so, I and Nick, we went up, we went down, we went up, we went down, we went up again. We tried our very best to find two more teachers, the chemistry teacher and the physics teacher, Mr. Thompson, And we kept asking people, we kept asking students, and we kept asking teachers, and they all give different answers. Like, oh, they're at the 6th floor. Oh no, they're at the ground floor. Oh no, they're at the main roof. They're at the whatever, blah blah blah. So at some point, we finally found where our chemistry teacher is. She's at the art room. For some reason, she has nothing to do with art, but she's stationed at the art room. So we arrived there, and she immediately recognized me and Nick. And she's like, oh, Enoch, you've grown stronger. She said ginjong, which is a word that I haven't heard a lot of people say. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm happy that she mentioned that. My exercises in the last 3 years have paid off. I look buffer now. I'm still not super buff. I'm still skinny, but I have grown buffer. And that's already an improvement, and I'm happy about that. We took a selfie together. We took a photo together with the principal as well. But yeah, we talked a little bit, and I kept joking around. Again, I'm so happy Nick's there because I get to be lighthearted. I kept joking around that, the teachers are gone because they went back home to take care of their kids. And it's like a running joke, just today. Like it only started today, and I kept mentioning, they're probably at home with their kids. And it's become funny. But the chemistry teacher really did bring her daughter and her husband here. And then a little bit later, we kept trying to look for Mr. Thompson. We went to the first floor staff room. Nick pressed a button to ask for him, no response, and then we went to the school hall because it's about to be the closing ceremony. Alright, I'm back. I need to speak fast because I'm running out of storage space, right? So, it's closing ceremony. I and Nick, we stood guard. We stood outside the hall, the assembly hall doors to wait for Mr. Thompson to show up. And we stood there for like 15 minutes. Nobody showed up. And we saw the English teacher again, and she's like, "You're still waiting for him?" And we're like, "Yeah." So he doesn't show up, so we went in and we watched the whole thing. The English teacher was also like, "Oh, by the way, are you two in a hurry? Can you two stay behind and help out, clear the room for me? Because we're really short of help." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure." And Nick is like, "Oh, okay, yeah." I just wanted an excuse to stay longer in this place. I don't know why. This place is mine. that place in Santa Monica, I've studied there 1.5 years. Quite a bit. But that is 4 times less than this secondary school. I've spent my time here 6 years. A huge chunk of me is already in this place. So no matter how sad or dark or unhappy I was there, I'm from there. That's the truth. So that's that. So anyways, we watched the whole thing mostly, and there are a couple performances. There's 4 hosts, and throwback to me and Zara being open day hosts, open day MCs, and now we have 4, and all of them speak English. No one speaks Mandarin. That's very interesting. But there's another room near the top called the China Resources Room, and it's basically the CCP room with Xi Jinping books and like exhibitions about China and like Chinese history facts, which is so lame. I love Chinese history, but that shit is lame. I'm sorry. About the North Song Dynasty, which is cool, but also the background, the intention is lame. But yeah, and then there's a dance performance where a bunch of girls do hip hop dance. It's both cool and awkward at the same time. And then there's a Chinese dance, and then there's choir performance, and then there's a speech by the principal, and then there's a school song. The principal came to the stage and was like, I invite all the teachers and alumni to come to the stage and sing. I and Nick, we didn't go up because we're just too awkward. I low-key wish we did though, but never mind. And then we went back to 3E classroom to clear up, to help our English teacher clear up stuff, taking off papers and staples and everything, and then at the end we went downstairs to the first floor staff room again, one last time to wait for Mr. Thompson. And while waiting, the LS teacher shows up. Our last LS teacher shows up. The woman who we constantly laughed at. But yeah, we spoke with her for a little bit, and it's really great. She still recognizes the both of us, despite the fact that it's been 4 years, 3.5 years since we've seen each other. But it's really cool. There's one moment at the school hall when I was in the back, and also it was very noisy. Like the students in the back, so everyone's sitting in the assembly hall, but then there's like a crowd of students and like alumni and maybe teachers in the back, and I and Nick were also in the back, and it's lit up and we're all just talking. Usually someone would come out and say, shut the fuck up, but even the teachers are chatting, so it's kind of hilarious. But at that point, there's a ICT teacher, ICT aka computer lesson teacher. I'm just gonna say this so that when I rewatch this video, I'm gonna remember who. But I hope you guys don't know who I'm talking about. Bob. If you don't know, good. He looked at me and he's like, "Oh," and then just walked away and didn't say anything else. And I think he clicked. He's like, "Oh, that's Enoch," but he just didn't expect that I look like this now. So that's funny. But yeah, and then our LS teacher, she went in, and right off the bat, when she came out, I was gonna be all nice and was like, "Hey, how are you doing? How's life?" But Nick was just being very awkward, and he's like, "Oh, we're just here to look for Mr. Thompson." Imagine like seeing a teacher for the first time in a long time and just pushing her away, and was like, "We're here for Mr. Thompson," and she's nice enough to go back to the staff room and come out and say, "Oh, he's not here." We still waited, and there's another teacher who was like, "Who are you waiting for?" And we're like, "Mr. Thompson." He went in and he went out, and he's like, "No." So we just left. He called Mr. Thompson. He gave me his number. I called Mr. Thompson. No answer. Turns out Mr. Thompson's already at home. Mr. Thompson texted Nick later saying, "No," which is an answer to Nick asking him, "Are you still at school?" But yeah, and then right before leaving, I spoke with the math teacher a little bit. Mr. Rushmore, I call him. Yeah, he still remembers me. That's cool. He's like, "Oh yeah, I saw your Instagram and you're promoting your own short films." I'm like, "You saw my short films?" And he's like, No, but I didn't have the time. But I was scrolling through your Instagram stories and I saw that one of your stories talked about it, and I'm like, okay, wow. So he does look at my stories. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. And then we just left. So that's it. That's the end of the day. It was nighttime. I and Nick, we went to the bus stop, the good old bus stop. We went onto 82X, came back home. I listened to music and I went back home. That's it. Yippee-ki-yay. Aside from that, again, not want to name names, but there's this one viewer of mine. I don't know if he subscribes to me or not, but there's this viewer of mine who's been watching my videos for a couple years, or at least 3 years now, and he left this essay type comment, 2 essay type comments on my round 3A recap video, and essentially saying shit like, as a sincere fan, let me be honest here. And he commented on my situation with Leslie, which, first of all, none of your fucking business. I don't want other people to talk about it. Kind of ironic given that I made a video about it. But also, I made a video about it to express myself and sort of to give myself a bit of closure. Like, hey, this is a recap of my life. But he's commenting about it, and he's like, first of all, she says she's traumatized after the confession incident, and yet you still lied to her, and in my opinion, you're incredibly manipulative in this situation, and you need to start holding your life accountable, because if you don't hold your life accountable, if you don't hold yourself accountable, then your life will never change, and you'll forever be like this. And you talk about women as if they're characters, and you don't care about their real feelings. So he's accusing me of being misogynistic. He's accusing me of being manipulative, and he's painting me as this villain who's also like a pathetic loser, and Leslie as this very normal person. But Leslie's anything but normal. When Leslie said, "Oh, I'm traumatized by this," she probably doesn't mean, "Oh my god, it's fucking so traumatizing. I had like depression or something." She probably was traumatized, as in like shocked. But then also, I'm not manipulative. I didn't lie to her. I avoided answering her questions. Sure, my bad. But also, not my bad. No, because if I tell her right away, it's just going to suck for the both of us. I did what I had to do, and I was emotionally distressed. I was just as being manipulated as she was being manipulated, you know. And she was like, and he's trying to paint me as this pathetic loser who's never changed. That's true. When I started the channel in 2017, I'm like a miserable person. I'm still miserable now. But there is a change. I think I'm so much more confident now. I work out, I make money. I'm so much more forward thinking. I'm so much more ambitious now. I don't really hate myself all that much now. Maybe my self-hatred has gone a little up because I'm back in Hong Kong, but in LA, I don't really have these thoughts. Magically, they just disappear. Maybe it's because in LA I just have a different personality, slightly different. And then he left another comment talking about my film 33, which is even more aggravating. He's like, well, instead of forming alliances or like whatever, maybe you should have followed instructions and fulfill your duties to the best of your abilities. First of all, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You have no idea what I've been through. You have zero fucking clue what I've been through. Follow instructions and fulfill my duties? Isn't that exactly what I did? That's exactly what I did. The issue at hand isn't me being incompetent, whining, and starting to, cause mess and accuse the Professor Cuchillo of things because he doesn't like me. Ooh, because I suck at filmmaking. Yeah, it comes off like that, but also that's not the truth, is it? Cuchillo is a very paranoid person. And he even commented, "Oh, no wonder the professor banned you from the film set." He didn't fucking ban me. He gently rejected me. Which is in some ways banned, sure. But maybe that is a gentle rejection, not really a ban. Maybe it is a ban, but not for the same reasons. He's just that paranoid. And I'm nowhere near the only person who thinks that way. Tons of people, even successful people like Tyler, also thinks that way. So yeah. So yeah, I wrote back. I'm like, I'm not going to delete these comments as much as I want to because I don't want to be a dictator who censors people. So I instead wrote a huge, even 3 times longer, an essay to respond to him saying, hey, first of all, every single point you say, all wrong. I can revoke them all. Second of all, aren't you in the same group of people who doxed me and made fun of me 2 years ago? You're doing all this just to provoke me. It's part of the cyberbullying plan, and I'm not falling for it. I'm sorry. Go out there and get a life. Why are you so concerned about the way I live? So yeah, I'm not that affected. I don't think. I'm more affected by going back to the school. Definitely melancholy. I feel like that's gonna stay with me forever. Every time I go back to the school, I feel melancholy. It's not something I can cure, is it? It's not something I can ever let go. Even if everything goes well, even if I see Mary again, I see Kingsley, I see Olivia, I see Anne, I see Mary, I just said Mary, I see Natalie, I see Leia, I see Andy, I see Hans, I see Tom. We all magically come back together. And now I'm happy. Now I have friends. It still wouldn't fix my sadness. The thing is uncurable, and it's like a chunk of me is being torn out of my body. This school was such a huge part of my identity. I miss it too much. I can't accept the fact that this piece of me will be forever gone. I can stay being friends with Natalie, but it'll never be the same, you know. And I will go out, I will meet new people, I'll go to USC, I'll join the film industry. And this will just be history. But then I love this piece of history so much. I think the best way to deal with this, I think what Potter said to me really stuck with me. Potter's a king of quotes. When you realize that it won't pass, then it will pass. Maybe I should just embrace the fact that this school makes me sad and that I feel lost and empty because of this school, and just live with that sadness, live with that emptiness, coexist with it, and then so be it, you know. I will just carry that sadness behind my back until the day I die. And I think I'm going to do that. Yeah. I also wrote a pretty cool poem. It's supposed to be a joke, but the poem got serious. And Hans liked my Instagram story, which is a first. Leslie too, so that's funny. But yeah, definitely in the feels. And yeah, I don't know how to feel about you know, the fact that that's it. I could have seen Hans and Kingsley and Olivia and all those people yesterday. I missed this opportunity, and maybe I won't ever see them again in life. And I should just embrace the fact that happened, and just never let go of this sadness, and just live with it. Really, it's uncurable, then don't cure it, because the more I try to find a cure for sadness, the worse it gets. So maybe I should just live with it. Make a damn good short film out of it too, in the meantime. Alright, time now is 1:53 p.m. afternoon on November 13th. I slept from 5:30 to 1:30, so that's pretty cool. Didn't have much of a significant dream either, but I think I need to talk about last night a little bit. First of all, there are a couple of things that happened yesterday at the school that I forgot to mention. But one of which is when I was at the second hall upstairs on the 7th floor with Betsy. Betsy also talked to me a little bit about my short films, and you know, Betsy's like Guile, Add Oil, you know, one day you will be famous and I can tell everyone that, oh, when I was in secondary school, I'm with this guy. We're in the same class together. That's pretty cool. That's what Ashley and Rachel said, albeit jokingly. And then Betsy jokingly said, oh, I'm gonna introduce you other people like Enoch, Lies, Films, or like, Mak Guai Ye, like, some, how do I explain this in English? Like, she calls it like, 唔知拍咗啲乜鬼嘢, like, I don't know what fucking weird, crazy thing that, he filmed. And Betsy was like, you know what? That's actually a really great way to describe your short films. It's like weird, crazy randomness. That's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, whoa, you watched my short film? And she's like, no, but I scrolled through your Instagram posts, and they feel very heavy. They feel like they're very heavy topics and very artsy. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And I take that as a huge compliment, because again, back in secondary school, I come off like a clown, but I'm a very fucking serious person and very intense. I'm actually super intense. So it's like, oh, the real me is really showing through these short films. So there isn't a single short film I've made that I like regret. Maybe the second one. The second one is just like, it doesn't have to exist. Information blackout. But everything else, Cloud Busting, Love and Death, Dreams of an Empty Street, these films really reflect my state of mind, and they really reflect who I am. They're an extension of me, and I'm so glad that they exist. Another thing is, while I and Betsy and Nick were in that room, suddenly we saw Jennifer, Umbriel, and Jennifer's boyfriend. And it's been years since I've seen them, but I can immediately recognize them because of course I can. Like, I'm just like, I'm gifted with that ability. And they passed by, and I think they recognized me. Like, when Jennifer walked in, Jennifer was like, and then like sneaked past, and I told Betsy, like, oh, I know them. And Betsy's like, oh yeah, I know them too. Jennifer was my primary school classmate. And they just sneaked past us without saying a word, which is kind of sad. Like, come on, say something. I know we're not super close anymore, but you can say something. So we kept running into them. So when I and Nick were going up and down, we kept running into Jennifer, Umbriel, and Jennifer's boyfriend like 3 times. And at the very last time, I'm like, man, I should at least say hi. So I just like, hi. And then Umbriel was like smiling, and she's like shocked, and she's like, I think she recognizes me. If she doesn't, that's okay. But she's lost a lot of weight. But yeah, she was in my class in Form 2, so so there's that. But yeah, it's good. I didn't see Kingsley or Hans or whatever, but I think with the people that I'm able to meet, I have made peace with all of them. Like, I and Betsy never fought. Like, I and Betsy were never close anyways, but like, seeing her again, and we talk a lot, and we have mutual respect, and I feel respected by her, it's like, whoa, okay, So I feel like, yeah. But anyways, I went back home, and at night, it was so fucking depressing. I listened to music, listened to Midair Thief, I listened to Ao by Chico, and I played Minecraft, and I was in a creative world, and I just jumped around and did nothing, and I just can't do anything else. I can't edit videos, I can't do anything. I was so unmotivated. I think I was at the deepest point of my, I don't want to say depression, because I don't know if I have depression disorder or not. I'm just going to say I was in a deep pit of sadness. And I had to do something. I had to talk to someone. And usually I just like bundle up and not tell anyone my feelings, but I realized I probably should. And so I called Retablo, and we had a talk. And I realized that it's not that difficult to explain my feelings to others and put it into words. When I feel my feelings, it feels complicated, but then when I explain it to someone, especially someone I trust, it's like it's not that difficult actually. And it felt really good to put things off my chest. I called Retablo and he talked to me and he gave me a lot of positive energy. He's like one of the most positive person I've ever met. Like whatever I say, he's gonna be like, just fight on, but that's life, get positive, do something, I know he's gonna say that, but that's probably what I really need to hear. Um, and again, it's multiple things that I have multiple things in my head. First of all, I'm still jealous and angry. I've never let go of the school. People like Kingsley, Hans, Hector, they're successful and they're happy, and I'm not, and I'm angry about that. And I don't know why. Why should I care? But I do care for some reason. To that, I think it's because, and Retablo's right by saying this, I'm back at home. I'm back at home in Hong Kong. It's supposed to be my turf. It's my home. But I don't feel successful or happy here. And that really flipped me off. I can be successful and happy in LA, but yeah, so what? That's like another city. It's not really like, doesn't even matter that much. And that's true. I think that's true. The other thought is Natalie in particular, Natalie and Cedric. I feel like I've disconnected from them. I feel like they're not caring about me anymore. And there's only one way to change the situation, and that's me. I have to change. I have to actively reach out to them, talk to them, hang out with them, and yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. And if they still ignore me, don't care, then okay, they're not real friends. They're not the real ones, and that's sad. That would make me really sad. But at least Zara and Leia are nice to me, so that's that. And Miriam as well, and Nick as well, But yeah, more on that later. The third thought I had was that I'm scared of moving on constantly. Like I have to move on from Santa Monica to USC. When I graduate from USC, I have to move on from USC to the real world. And that's why it's important to maintain friendships. And it's not easy. It's not like I can keep maintaining all my friends and we can all party together. There has got to be some reason a friend gets married, or a friend gets a girlfriend or boyfriend, and they just distance themselves away. A friend moves to another city. There are a myriad of reasons why a friend would just leave your life, and that's just like life, That's sad, but that's life, I guess. Number 4. I'm angry and sad that I came back to Hong Kong without much fruition. I tried joining film sets. I can only watch them. I tried going to Facebook to, to look for filmmaking opportunities. None. And it's okay. At least I've tried. And I shouldn't expect great success. I shouldn't expect that. Instead, I should just spend the rest of my days here having fun, being with my family. Even in terms of making money, even if I am able to make $20,000 in Hong Kong, 20,000 Hong Kong dollars, that's only a small portion. That's only 0.05% of the overall tuition I need for USC. It's not going to even mean anything, which is sad but true. So why even bother working so hard, I'm still going to keep trying, though. I'm still going to keep going to Facebook to see filmmaking opportunities. I'm still going to talk to people, submit my short film to film festivals, but if nothing happens to me, so what? I'm based in LA now, so I'm going to keep expanding in LA. One day I come back to Hong Kong, maybe it'll work out for me all that much. But yeah. Finally, about romantic relationships. Yeah, it sucks that I'm 21 and I still haven't dated at all, and the older I get, the more weirder it is for me to not having dated. And also, I was right that recently I figured out that one of the biggest reasons why Leslie and I didn't work out was because I was such a huge simp. Leslie could say, "Fetch me a water bottle," and I will go to the ends of the earth to fetch her a water bottle. And that's wrong. That's fucking wrong, man. I needed her. I wanted her and I needed her. And that's wrong. I should have wanted her, but not need her. Because when I see Leslie, I thought she can make me whole. But that shouldn't be the case. That's not right. They should be only an addition. Like, I should be happy and content with my own life first, before I get onto any relationship. Otherwise, it's just going to tear you apart. Because you're overly dependent on that one person for happiness. And that's what happened to me. And it also turns people off. If someone likes you so much that they simp you and they need you, unless, if they don't want to be broken, you would just be turned off. You'd just be like, okay, you're so overly attached. And that's what I obviously was, I was such a huge simp. So, really, the best thing I can do is just to work on myself. Again, I'm doing exercise. I'm doing exercise later. I have nothing to do today, but I'm going downstairs to jog. I'm going to run. I'm going to lose some weight, lose some fat. I'm going to do lifting as well. I'm going to get that clothes washing juice and do some lifting. I'm going to read. I'm going to write scripts. I'm going to work on myself. And I should be okay with things, and I feel like that's all my grievances. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to try to text Cedric and text Natalie as if it's just a regular Tuesday in 2019. I'm going to text Cedric first. I feel like Cedric's easier to talk to for me, even though I talk to him even less. Yeah. I'm just going to talk to Cedric like, hey, you want to hang out? Stuff like that. And I feel like I want to individually, hang out with Natalie or Cedric. Not together. Because I feel like if it's together, then it's a little less... It's a little more difficult for me to really, pour my guts out. There's a time and place for being vulnerable. Being vulnerable is great, but there's a time and place. And the reason why I got a lot of friends in Santa Monica is because I was vulnerable all the time. I keep telling people, oh, I'm sleep deprived. Oh, I actually suck at this. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And they all just, come around and they all, comfort me and they all treat me nice. But, again, that's something that turns people off. Most of them, Unless you're a girl with a huge, soft boy fetish, which definitely does exist. But they're really, chances are low. You probably wouldn't like someone who's not confident at all. And I know there's also a cultural difference. Like in Hong Kong, it's much more common for people to be like, okay, I suck. Yeah, I suck at this. Yeah. But I think in general, universally speaking, being confident is a good thing. And I really fucking lack that. Even I don't respect myself enough. So, yeah. But yeah, today I really need to get back on my feet. I don't want to be emotionally broken anymore. I don't want to feel bad anymore. I'm going to keep going with life. I'm going to keep going, keep moving. Yeah, school is gone. The days of school are gone. But so what? There's more in the future. And if school is gone, but what I love from school is the people, such as Natalie and Cedric, then I should reach out to Natalie and Cedric. And who knows, maybe by chance I'm going to see Kingsley. By chance I'm going to see Hans. By chance I'm going to run into Ronald in the future. By chance I'm going to run into Topher. Topher also showed up on the open day, on the second day on Saturday, but not on Sunday. And maybe by chance I could make peace with them, by chance. But if it doesn't happen, so what? I feel like I've already made a pretty good name for myself, pretty good reputation. through my short films. But yeah, I really need to get back on my feet today. I really have to get back on my feet. The film workshop guy has finally responded to my email saying, great, nice to meet you too. When you come back to Hong Kong, feel free to reach out again. So the workshop thing, the opportunity is closed, but it's alright, you know. Tutoring, I don't know, I'm going to call HKTA. Rifle thing, I'm not going to push them anymore. They can contact me, great. If they don't, fine. But I'm accepted to a couple Facebook groups now, like behind the scenes, or not behind the scenes, crew Facebook groups. Hopefully I find something there at least. I'm gonna work on my script version 2.2. And I'm actually for real going to start texting people. I'm gonna text Sekulun. I'm gonna text Glenn, the actor. I'm gonna text Elaine to find an actress. I'm gonna text more people. I'm gonna text Benny to hop on producing calls, and I need to get back on my feet and actually do things now. Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna play Minecraft perhaps, but yeah, time to get back on my feet for sure. Alright, time now is 9:15 p.m. on, yeah, you know. Yeah, nothing happened today. It was a very chill day. I didn't even leave the apartment. Like, I actually, originally planned to at least go downstairs to do exercises, but in the afternoon I got a stomachache and I had to go to the bathroom, which took up some time, and I ended up feeling like, you know what, if I go downstairs, get sweaty, come back up, take a shower, and then have dinner, and then it's gonna take a lot of time. So let's just do exercises here. So what I did was I tried to do lifting here in my own room, in my own bedroom. And it sort of worked out. I wanted to get the clothes washing juice and lift, but it's already very light now because a lot of the clothes washing juice is already sort of depleted. So what I did was I used my camera bag and I grabbed my black water bottle, filled it up, and put the black water bottle into my camera bag and then just lifted it. And honestly, it's quite heavy. It's not, it's like, it probably adds up to about 1.5 pounds, so it's like nothing. 1.5 pounds is like 1 kilogram. Normally people lift 5, 6, 7 kilograms of stuff. But it's good. I did 3 sets, and I don't know why, even though I did, and when I was doing it, my arms were pretty sore, but right now my arms are fine again. I think I have to do more, or maybe I have to make it heavier for myself, but at least I'm doing something, you know, and I did some squats as well. And that's pretty much it. I called the HKTA again, and I was like, hey, can I look for Miss Lau? And you know, one of the people in HKTA is my connect, you know, and the person talking was like, okay, we'll look for her and we'll call back. They never did. Okay. And then that's pretty much it. So tonight I'm going to watch a movie, I'm going to draw, I'm going to finally finish script version 2.2. I'm going to type some messages, message people, and I'm just going to call it a day. Tomorrow I'm going to go to work. Yeah, I'm going to go to work. I'm going to go to my mom's company to work. Normally it's Wednesdays, but my mom is really worried that I don't earn enough money. So yeah, my mom's trying to make me work more for her company so that she can give me more money. But again, that's something I'm trying to avoid because it's cheating. I don't need to go through an interview process and have qualifications to do this part-time job. It's my mom's company, and I'm only earning money through connections, and it's so fucking stupid. And yet outside of this job, I just can't find any other jobs, because they either disappear or they just, like, I don't know, go to Cambodia or something. The Christian interview guy's at Cambodia, I believe. But I should definitely WhatsApp him to see if he needs help again. I'm also going to look at Facebook. Maybe there are some Facebook groups with some filmmaking opportunities. 1 in 1,000 chance, I know, but still worth a check. And that's pretty much it for today. I just texted Cedric on WhatsApp. I don't know what sort of response I will get, but you know, it's harmless. The thing is, I should think opposite. You know, I should think in the second person, and that's really weird. Think in a second person. I should think in the perspective of the person I'm texting. Imagine someone who's been close to you for a while, for a few years, but has disappeared for a little while, and you've grown distant from him. He comes out and says, "Hey, let's hang out." You know, what would you say? Turning him down would mean a bit of a declaration of war. Not really war, but a bit of a declaration of like, you know, I hate you or I'm mad at you or something. So it has to be a yes somehow. Like even if it's like, you know, maybe it's just my personality, but even if I don't really want to see that person anymore, I would say I would make up an excuse. But if I don't hate that person, I'd be like, yeah, I'm down for a lunch, just a small lunch, and that's all I need. So I don't see any reason for Cedric to deny me, nor do I see any reason for Natalie to deny me. You know, like, what have I done to Natalie? Nothing. I mean, I've been a weird person. And I've talked about him, I talked about her, and she's seen those YouTube videos. And she probably knows that I draw her too. So yeah, that's pretty fucking weird. But you know, who can blame me? I've been so traumatized. Just let me be weird. Yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I have nothing else to add. Just really need to get back on my feet, fighting on. I can't let the melancholy take me. The school is in the past. I need to keep moving forward, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, nothing else. I don't know. I've been thinking like, it's so silly again. Like, cause back in May and back in April, hold on. Back in May and back in April, I would think to myself all the things I could do with Leslie. Like, oh, we could, and in a realistic sense, like maybe we could walk around Westwood and have a nice lunch together, and then maybe we'll watch a movie together, and we can. I will come to her place and I'll tidy her clothes, and I can cook for her, and maybe we can eat Crystal's cooking together, which almost happened, by the way, hilariously enough. Yeah. Now I'm thinking of things I could do with Natalie, albeit it's not romantic, but with Natalie it's even easier, supposedly. There are so many things I could be telling her. There are so many things that happened to me at the USA, especially in the last few years, that she has no idea, because I didn't vlog them on my main channel. I can tell them so much about this crazy guy, this Benny. I can tell her about Cliff. I can tell her this and tell her that. Yeah, it's not connected to her life. Why does she care? But that's what friends do. It's like, yeah, you have your own life and stuff, but cool story. And maybe I should listen and care about her, and ask her what's her life story now, and yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. I want to be gentleman-like in front of her, because I feel like that's a nice change of pace for me. Like, when I saw Miriam last time and her phone was running out of battery, it was at 0%. I was like, oh, what type is that? And she's like, oh, type USB-C, it's type C. And I'm like, oh, I have a portable charger, and I just pulled it out and I just gave it to her, and she's like, thank you. And then I didn't realize how gentleman-like that was. When I did the action, I didn't even realize that. And I kind of want to do the same thing to Natalie, because I realized I haven't done anything like that to Natalie. I haven't like opened the door for her or anything like that. And usually that's stupid, but just due to our history, I feel like I need to do something like that. I want to be all giggly and happy about things that normally seems boring. I want to have small talk with Natalie. It doesn't have to be a deep personal talk. We can fucking talk about food. We can talk about cats. We can talk about I don't know, anime. I know she doesn't watch it anymore, but like we can just have small talk and it would be fine. And it's totally fine. It's actually like totally fine. And then maybe we could talk about personal things. I could tell her my personal struggles and show her like, hey, you know, I want to be raw, you know. I want to tell her like, hey, I've been suffering too. You know, here's my problems. And she may just take it and be like, wow, okay. But maybe she'll be like, oh, wow, you know, you still trust me enough to just spill me everything, like about your pain and suffering. And I want the same for Cedric. I want Cedric to see that, hey, I am just a guy like you. Let's just talk. You know, let's have sushi together or something. Sushiro. I want to go to Sushiro. I want to go to Sushiro before I leave. So, yeah, I don't have a lot of days left. I have 1 month and 5 days left. I gotta make the best of it. Time is draining. Time is draining. Yeah. Time now is 11:21. My mom is outside my door right now, and I don't suspect that she will leave anytime soon. She's going back and forth between her room and outside non-stop, so she's like 2 meters away from me. But yeah, time now is 11:21 on November 14th. I slept from 5:30 to 10:30. I was very sleep deprived, so much so that I have to go back to the bed to continue sleeping. I had to. I didn't fall asleep, but it was so nice and warm and cozy. I was stuck on it until 11:05. Yeah, nothing to do today again, except more work at my mom's company. That's it. Bye. Cedric responded saying, sure, so we can hang out. Again, like, he can't say no. It's something that you just can't blatantly say no. Even if you want to say no, you need to come up with an excuse. So today I'm going to go one step further and ask Natalie, when is she free? You know, I don't know, like, when I and Natalie had a small talk at the Pacific Coffee, it was nice, even though she clearly had nothing to say to me, and she was so bored out of her mind that she started playing chess on her phone, and I played it with her, and I lost to her, but I was expecting to lose anyways. Yeah. I still haven't reached out to Glenn. I couldn't make the version 2.2 of the script because I can't do multiple columns, but I sent the script to Ken, Elin, and Ariel, and all of them said, thank you, got it, sounds cool. And then I haven't texted Benny yet, but I'm gonna do that. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna try calling HKTA again today. If not, that's okay. I'm just gonna keep looking for a new tutoring opportunity, even though I have like 1 month left and it's not gonna mean much, but you know, still worth a try, I guess. Still worth a try. Yeah, not much else. Not much else. Facebook groups, gonna look at that too. Yeah. Alright, time now is 8:35 p.m. Alright, that's better. God, my voice. It's 8:35 p.m., so let's talk a little bit about today. Once again, I woke up and I immediately got a stomachache. It's not immediate, actually. I had to wake up and have breakfast first before it hit me. But the stomachache hit me again, and I had to go to the bathroom. I just fucking had to. And so because my mom was like switching closets, meaning that she was switching clothes from from her she's switching clothes from summer wear to winter wear, and so she's in that room, so it's basically impossible for me to quiet down and film a review or anything, nor do I have anything to review. So yeah, that's that. Um, I, I, yeah. So I went to the bathroom and then I had lunch and then I went to work. So originally I have to go to work from 2 to 6 p.m. And again, it's fucking lame because my mom's making me go to his company so that I have more of an excuse to earn money. But that's not how I want it to be, so I don't really know. But yeah, I went to work and I arrived at 3:05 and I went till 6 and then I went back home. That's pretty much it. Not much else. Um, and yeah, that's it. So, yeah, a couple of things. First of all, my mom, I usually am dead inside in the mornings. I'm not a morning person at all, especially when I don't have enough sleep. So this morning I'm not in the mood to talk. I'm honestly kinda irritated in the morning when it's so loud and noisy outside. But my mom kept bugging me because apparently one of the one of the somewhat successful, somewhat moderately famous actor friend of my mom's texted my mom saying that, oh, so tomorrow night, I don't know exactly when, but tomorrow night I'm gonna film a scene with Andy Lau, and maybe your son can come. So my mom's like, oh, you have to go. It's so important for you. Don't You can leave early for your work. This is so important. And I'm like, okay. Honestly, that's cool and all, but also like that's not the point. I want to make movies, not watch people make movies. So yeah, but still a cool opportunity. Hopefully tomorrow night something happens. And that's the only remotely interesting thing that's happened today. I'm really glad that I picked myself back up pretty fast from like visiting the school because I think last time, like back in December of 2021, I was depressed for quite a bit. But also not really because I was distracted by the fact that I have to go to LA very soon. But yeah, yeah, I'm glad I'm ready to move on. It's sad that it's gone, but also um what makes school for me is A, the location, B, the people. Now, I don't have all the contacts and I'm still not connected with all the people I used to know, which is a little sad, but at least people like Natalie and Cedric and Zara and Miriam and Leia are people from the school, and I still am in contact with them, and that's good. The location's still there. It's just a hollow shell, but it's still there. It's not gonna get demolished soon. If it does, I'm gonna be very heartbroken. But yeah, So I texted I texted Sek Lun last night to ask him to help out, and he's like, "Yeah, sure. Can you tell me which day? Because I'm going to I'm gonna call in a sick leave, and it's whatever." And I'm like, I don't want to like ruin your schedule and everything. So maybe on a day where you don't have to call in a sick leave. And he's like, "Oh, it's fine. It's whatever." So yeah, I don't know. But the thing is, it's best if you work with the people you trust more. And I trust him, but I've only worked with him for 2 days, so don't know. I've never worked with Elin, but the thing is, through other people's mouths and through chatting with her as a schoolmate, as a classmate of sorts, I think I learned more about Elin, the Malaysian girl, despite having never worked with her before. And I've definitely worked with Cliff before. Um, you know, so Cliff is someone I hope, or at least a candidate to be like my longtime DP partner. You know how Ho Xiaoxian and Mark Lee, um, friggin' Christopher Nolan, Hoyte van Hoytema. I don't know why Ho Xiaoxian is the first thing that came to mind. Probably because I finished seeing a film this morning, Summer Snow, which is shot by Mark Lee. Wong Kar-wai and Christopher Doyle. It's people get DP collabs and they always stick with them. Scorsese and Rodrigo Prieto. And I feel like Cliff, like people are gonna say Enoch and Cliff, people are gonna, oh, they're back at it again. And so I really want him to be my longtime DP, unless I find someone even cooler, even closer to me in USC. But even so, I would at least get Cliff on some of my projects too, Yeah. All right. I guess the main course is Natalie. I texted Natalie. I hesitated, and I fucking hate that feeling. I hate the feeling of hesitating to speak to people, because it reminds me of Leslie. It's like when I have to speak to Leslie, I'm like, oh, what should I say? The same with me and Natalie, and that's wrong. I've known Natalie since 2014. It's been 9 years. I've known her for 9 years. That's almost half of her life. Almost. Not quite yet, but almost. And it's like, why is this tough suddenly? And I scroll to the back of January this year. I was also in Hong Kong, and our conversation felt less like but for some reason after round 3 it's like we've grown distant, but I don't like that. So I just texted her. I'm like, hey, so I'll be leaving in a month, so tell me when you're free and maybe we can have a lunch or a dinner or something. Do something, I don't want to just have lunch or dinner. I don't want to just walk around in bookstores and electronic stores. I want to do something. And I'm not saying board games or something. I'm talking about, I don't know, something worthwhile. Something like going for an adventure. Cook together. Like, that's fucking insane, but like, that would make a very memorable experience, I think going to the ocean park with Zara and Miriam was pretty memorable, actually, even though it wasn't like life-changing or anything. But I remember this. But Natalie like immediately responds saying, "Yeah, sure," Fine, Miss Solomon. Miss Solomon misses you. Fine, Cedric. And I'm like, oh, actually, I'm having lunch with Miss Solomon with Nick, because Nick is too awkward to eat lunch with her alone, But I'm sort of half joking, and I talked to her a little bit about, Nick being awkward during open day, and then she's like, oh, I'm free tomorrow lunch too, and I'm like, nah, I got work and stuff, and he's like, okay, lol, never mind, lol. It's very nothing. It's very empty words, but that's all I need. All I need is like, yes, sure, let's hang out. And then when we hang out, I can talk to her in person. I feel like it's better for me to talk to people in person, even though I'm very socially awkward, but it makes more sense. Like when I text people, you don't see my facial expression and my little movements. It's a little less convincing. But yeah, I just want to make a very strong last impression. Yeah, I just want to make a strong last impression on Natalie, just I want Natalie to know that I've changed. Yeah, I've still never dated. I'm still a virgin. I'm still not rich. I don't have a lot of jobs. I don't have a lot of money. I'm still not famous and successful. But I think my mentality has changed, and I think that's the most important thing. Actually, it isn't the material surface stuff. It's who I am now. And also the fact that I'm yearning for positivity and happiness and healthiness, I think is I remember saying that with Leslie, I want to be healthy for her. And I think I'm sort of doing that now, even though I'm not even thinking about her. So that's that.